All right, guys. Yep, you are definitely first, my friend. What is up, guys? Welcome to the stream. We are literally 17 subs away from 8,000 subscribers. We are almost touching that subscriber count. So if you guys could like the video, if you are new, which I'm assuming you're not because we just started the stream, subscribe and make sure to share this with a friend so they can at least hit the subscribe button. That would be absolutely amazing. If you guys could do that for me, I would greatly appreciate that. But I'm just going to be here until we hit 8K pretty much. I'm going to just be, you know, all new 24 says I made a county map for 2024. All right. Well, I mean, are you in the Discord? Cuz I can pull it up if you got if you want me to if you want me to show it. I could pull it up, but you might have to post it. You might have to you're gonna have to post it. Guys, make sure to hit the like button. Try to keep the views and the likes as close as possible to each other. I understand it's not gonna be 100%, but if you are joining the stream right now, please make sure to hit the like button. Please make sure to do that as well. And yes, AK is coming. We're almost there. We're literally 17 subs away from joining. And we are very close to getting there. And I'm probably going to be streaming until we actually make it. More than likely, that is what I'm going to be planning on doing. So I'm going to wait until we get to 8K somehow. So if you guys do have a friend that hasn't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Tell them to subscribe to the channel as we're going to be covering more content. And what I'm actually going to be doing right now is I'm actually going to be doing a Senate prediction. Now, I will be releasing a video at some point this week going over my Senate prediction, but I am going to be doing it on stream with you guys just because I did do a whole 2024 analysis last night, and I might even do some like 2024 and 2028 analysis. Even I may even go over some 2028 stuff because there is some interesting prospects for that there. So I am going to be looking at that as well. If Trumpy wins, it'll be such a great day. If Trump made a dark MAGA party, would you join it? I mean, that's just sounds. It's not going to be called dark MAGA. It just sounds weird. I don't know if that's exactly what it would be, but that sounds a little strange. But I mean, honestly, I don't even Um, so as of right now, guys, currently, if Biden were to win, Carrie Lake is beating her opponent by quite a bit in the Senate race. Well, what we're actually going to do is we're actually going to look up polling for that. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Tommy Lay for 5 says hi. Well, thank you for the 5. I appreciate that. That is very appreciated. So thank you very much for the 5. I am currently going to be going ahead, and I'm actually going to be looking at all the polls for the US Senate elections. So if we look, Scott is up actually quite a bit in this new poll. He's up by a lot here, according to FAU. The poll has him up by 7 there. Hogan has some really good polling out of Maryland. So that's also a really good sign for him. But we're going to be going state by state. So as of right now, Britt is set. That was the 2022 cycle. Alaska is not up for grabs. Arizona for 2024, if we look, Gallego has been leading the most recent poll. He's up by 5 points with a third party candidate in the mix, and he's up by 1 with no undecided. So clearly, when you don't have undecideds, the race tends to be a little bit closer. Cinema is no longer running, so that poll is basically not viable anymore. So really, the head-to-head matchups are the more accurate ones, and it looks like Gallego's ahead in some of these. However, here's the thing, guys. Right now, I currently have Donald Trump winning the presidency by quite a bit. If you actually look at my last video, I did in fact have Trump winning by quite a significant amount in the popular vote and in the electoral college as well. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking at that for now. And so let's go to on point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this out and basically show you what my current map projection was from last week. I currently have Donald Trump winning 318 electoral votes, to Biden's 220, I believe it is. And it's because he still holds on to Minnesota, Colorado, and the rest of the states in the Northeast, except for the district in Maine. That's literally the only one that Trump gets. And Nebraska second does flip Republican as well. And as of right now, we can see Trump is up 318, and all the margins in all the swing states were pretty convincing margins. He was winning these margins by quite a bit. And New Mexico was a tilt margin. Colorado was likely. Minnesota was, I believe, was tilt in the last projection. These were likely. Virginia, I believe, was in the lean category. Washington and Oregon were there. These were significantly closer, and I believe New Hampshire was like a couple points victory for Biden, and Maine at large was still lean for Biden as well. And Nebraska second was a lean margin of victory for Trump. And so pretty much, Candace, I had Trump flipping New Mexico as of right now due to Latino trends. That is a big reason why I have it currently flipping right now. And if you look at the margins in some of the swing states, you see there are pretty big victories. And that's because if you were to model, go ahead and basically have Trump up by, because if you look at the polling aggregate right now, right? Let's hypothetically look at it. Because in the five-way race, Trump is up by 1.3% as of right now. And if the polls are off by what they were in 2020, which was around 2.7%, and if you look at how much they were off in 2016, they were off by like up 1.1%. If you were to average that error out, that ends up coming out to a 1.9 percentage point error. So if you were to apply 1.3 and apply a 1.9 polling error, that puts Trump right around a 3-point victory in the popular vote. And if we were to model that, pretty much, Donald Trump is easily winning the presidential election. He would be easily winning. And I have to show this before I do the Senate prediction, because it is very crucial that I do include this, because a lot of people who respond to polls for Senate races tend to be a lot of the more politically inclined voters. However, people who vote for Donald Trump down ballot are more than likely not going to vote or split ticket that much on year 2024. Obviously, now, are you a Fed? What are you talking about? He would never do that, but if he did, that would definitely cause the progressive wing of their party to form. Carrie Lake is beating her. Da-da-da. And so, guys, right now, pretty much we just gained a subscriber. So we're literally 16 away from getting to 8K. We are literally 16 away. So if you guys could get me there, I would greatly appreciate it. I might even tell people on my personal Instagram to also be checking this out as well, as I am going to be hitting 8K pretty soon. So actually, that's exactly what I'm actually going to do. I'm actually going to go ahead and advertise this on my personal Instagram. So give me guys 1 second, just really quick. I'm gonna have to set this up. Um, so just give me 1 second, guys, while I do that. I see people are joining in. A lot of people are tuning in pretty quickly. We're already at reaching like almost 50 concurrent viewers, so I am very grateful for that. That was pretty fast, actually. We're getting pretty close to 50, so that's really awesome. I really appreciate that. I will be attending you guys in 1 second. I am advertising this on my personal Instagram. Tommy Lay one says, "Welcome to Personal Connection." Well, I greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate the membership. If you haven't subscribed, Give me 1 second, guys. I'm almost done. We actually gained another sub, so we are 15 away from making it. We are about 15 away. All right, guys, I am back currently. Thank you very much for being patient enough to wait. Please, guys, you guys are here. I know that some people who tuned in originally have already left, but if you are here, make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure you press it. There's currently 44 concurrent viewers, and we're at 27 likes, so try to get it as high as you guys possibly can. I'm going to be going through all these states. Right now, it shows Florida as a 16-point victory, which is a massive win in the electoral college there, and presumably Texas would probably be hitting that same margin. It's about a 17-point win on the map. Iowa and Ohio are going to be safe Republican states. Iowa is classified as a 19-point win. Same thing goes for Ohio as well. And if we keep going through the model that I have constructed here, which is basically done through trends, we look at the swing, we look at how they vote relative to the nation, we look at polling data, and so that's really what comes down to this model. And we have also tested it to 2020. Gold Crown Politics, Gold Crown Politics, which is the half of the model because we have two different models and then we average it out to get a final result. His model completely predicts the 2020 election spot on. He actually got it 100% correct. He even predicted Georgia flipping to Biden by 0.6%. So even the margin was almost on the money too. So that's very, very impressive. And so that is the case there. It's really like, okay, that part was accurate. And then I reversed my model back to 2020 to make sure it was as accurate as possible. And so now we're combining our models and kind of giving you guys what the election's going to be looking like during a certain national environment. And I'm also, my model kind of accounts for polling as well. So that kind of adds in some of the favorability to the map based off of polling. And since Trump is surging in New York, if they do a new poll there, the average will get closer. It's probably going to fall under 5 points if a poll comes out of there again. So that will be very interesting. However, if we look at this, Hawaii is not even classified as a safe state. It is right below. It is a 14.6 win. Colorado is considered a lean state on the map. Illinois is slightly above a 5 point margin on the map. New York is considered a 10-point victory on this map. And so it's looking really, really good for Trump on this model if the national popular vote is really that high. Flammy Bird Drake says, hello on point. Happy Sunday and God bless. Well, thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate it. If we look at this, guys, we can clearly see here that Maine's first is going to be a likely district according to the model as of right now. Maine's first will be over a 20-point win. And if we look at this, oh, I kind of got thrown off here really quick. But if we look at this, it is a lean margin of victory statewide and a safe state here, mainly because of the fact that a lot of third-party voters are going to be here, but however, the white vote is going to really, really trend to the left this cycle. And so that's really what it's going to come down to. States like New Hampshire and Maine, Trump's going to have to work a little bit harder there because I think the white vote is going to trend to the left this cycle. If you look at New Hampshire as of right now, it is a lean margin of victory for Trump. And if we go to Virginia, he's actually winning it by a tilt margin here, which is very interesting. And North Carolina, if we go down here to North Carolina, let's see if I can find it, is a 12.7 victory. Georgia is classified as a 10.8 percentage point victory for the former president. If we go to New Mexico, he's winning that by 2 points according to this model. Arizona is a likely state. Nevada is. Alaska is safe. And the last few Rust Belt states, if we go through that, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania are all classified as likely margins on the map. And Minnesota is lean R with Nebraska second, easily flipping to the former president by a lean margin. And that puts Donald Trump at 345 electoral college votes. If you apply if you could look at the polling year from 2016 and the polling year from 2020, if you were to average that out, that ends up giving you a popular vote margin for Trump of like 3.2% in the national popular vote. We actually got an influx of subscribers, and I'm assuming that's from my Instagram. So whoever came from my Instagram, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. We're literally 8 subscribers away from 8K. We're literally so close to hitting the 8K mark on the channel. And it's been crazy because I literally started this in January with 72 subs. I used to be called the Up Podcast. People from my Instagram probably have seen like a couple stories or two where I used to post about that. Literally, like it's crazy. It's actually insane that I was that small before. And my first video that I posted in January, I actually posted a video, I think it was January 7th or the 6th or something like that. When I posted it, it ended up getting like 11K views out of nowhere. I went up like 50 subs and I was like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna be posting every day now. And now 8,000 subscribers almost, we are now here, which is insane. I'm literally almost at 10K, guys. So literally for the month of, basically the month of May, my main goal is going to try to be 10K. I mean, we'll see if we hit it, but my main goal is going to be 10K. Polls are showing New Jersey is only at 5 points for Biden, so it will be leaning shockingly. Oh, wow, okay. I mean, like, yes, there is a poll there that is Biden plus 5. However, I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna pan out. Really, we got an extra subscriber, 7 subs away. It's Ashley FTW says, do you have a link to your model? I currently do not have a link because I want to put it more nicely. Like if I'm going to release a public version of it, I do want to release a better version for it. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing in the next couple of weeks. We are 5 subscribers away. There's been an influx of people kind of joining the stream, I believe. And so that is really nice. And we're about to hit it. We are very close. We're literally about to hit the 8,000 subscriber mark. So whoever is here from Instagram, which is about like 17 people here, I greatly appreciate if anybody joined from that. However, I'm assuming, well, 4 subscribers away. We're basically about to hit it right now, guys. Oh, okay, 3 subscribers away. All right. It literally keeps going up every second now. So, I mean, but yeah. So right now I'm gonna just be focused on this until it hits 8K. You guys can spam 8K in the chat when that keeps going. Guys, we are at 83 concurrent viewers. If you guys are here, make sure to hit the like button. Please hit the like button. I want to try to get the likes up as high as possible. So if you haven't hit the like button, if you don't have an account, it is what it is. But if you do have an account, please hit the like button because it'll help the algorithm. And for little spontaneous streams like this, it'll push it out in the algorithm even more. And it's going to keep the momentum going. And so this is what the map currently is. All New Year 2024. I am going to get to that in a second. I will get to it, but I'm going to be covering this first. I'll be analyzing your county map and we'll kind of look through everything. But pretty much as of right now, Donald Trump would be winning in an electoral landslide if he won the popular vote by over 3 percentage points. He would be at a really good spot. And so basically using this as a fundamental for the Senate race, here's something you guys need to understand. In 2020 and 2016, the Senate races barely voted away from each other. If you look at the Senate races in 2020, the only state that voted opposed to its major party candidate, and that is it, guys. We passed 8,000 subscribers on the channel. Thank you very much to whoever just subscribed. I really appreciate it. We just hit 8K, so I'm very grateful. I'm going to be posting this on Instagram right now, so just excuse me for a second, but I am going to be posting this on my Instagram as of right now. So give me 1 second, guys. All right, guys, I am back. Let me see. All right, guys, I'm back. Thank you very much, guys. Whoever just subscribed, I'm really, really appreciative. The view count is going up, so people are tuning into this that are usually not watching the channel. So for whoever is new, make sure to subscribe. I mean, if you haven't, I'm assuming you probably have because this is doing pretty well. So if you guys haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. So make sure to do that right now. So make sure to go ahead and do that. Make sure to hit the post notification bell so you don't miss any other videos that I post. Make sure to do that as well. So we are supposed to go up, and so the counter is like 4 subs behind. So we are currently at 8,007 subscribers instead of 8,300. But thank you very much for whoever subscribed. But we are going to be continuing the stream. This has been only 20 minutes and we only already hit 8K, but I'm going to keep going for a little bit just to celebrate. This will usually what I do is I combine, like usually I do like a stream where I'm like on the road to 8K, and then I do a stream where I celebrate every 1,000 subscribers. So just for the sake of the occasion, I'm gonna stay on here for a little while, and we'll be talking about the Senate race. We'll talk about 2024. We'll talk about just a bunch of different issues in it. I might even do a call-in. I might even do a call-in stream. I may do a call-in stream as a celebration for 8K, and I'll just be talking to people. So if you guys do want to participate in that, make sure to go down in the description and join the Discord. It's literally a public Discord, so you guys can join that as well. So make sure to go ahead and do that. And guys, if you are in here, please hit the like button so we can get this up on the algorithm as best as we can. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. And so right now, guys, this is the map with an R+3 national environment. So for the sake of the video, we're going to be kind of doing the Senate predictions based off of these fundamentals. And the big thing is that cross voting in districts doesn't really, or at least in states, in Senate races, doesn't really tend to happen. It's not really a common thing. Usually, whoever wins the state on the national level, that will potentially always end up being the winner on the states, on the national level as a whole. So, like, for example, Biden won Georgia, both Senate races went blue. Michigan, Biden won it and Peters won here. Arizona, even the special election, Kelly won it by 2.3% as of right now. Trump won Texas by 5.6. Conroy outperformed by a couple points here. Mississippi, Trump won it by enough for this guy to win by 10. Graham was able to win by 10. Trump won by like an extra point or so. Tillis actually ended up outperforming Trump in North Carolina. The only state that ended up voting separate was actually Maine, and that's mainly because Maine kind of has an interesting electorate. There's a lot of independents there, so that is a main reason why that is. And actually, wow, the margin in New Hampshire is actually really large. I never knew it was that big of a win for whoever the senator is there, but congrats to them because that's actually pretty impressive for Biden only winning it by 7. They literally doubled Biden's margin there. That's very impressive, actually. Warner even outperformed Biden as well. And so, based off these fundamentals, even in 2016, when you look at the presidential race, all the states voted the way they did on the national level. Hassan actually ended up underperforming Clinton. The Senate candidates in the Rust Belt ended up outperforming Trump. Rubio actually ended up outperforming Trump quite extensively. He actually did pretty well here. He was able to actually flip Pinellas, win Hillsborough. He was actually able to win Seminole and Duval as well. And so that was pretty impressive from Marco Rubio. He actually did pretty well here. He almost ended up getting 5 million votes. Masto voted right in line. She voted right in line with Clinton back then. McCain ended up outperforming Trump extensively, but that's because McCain is McCain. He more than likely did way better in Maricopa. He actually even won that county. That's actually really interesting. I didn't even know that. Missouri, Roy Blunt was pretty close. He's not necessarily the most popular Republican there. However, I do believe that he ended up doing a little bit better. At least I think he retired, so I think that seat is it didn't belong to him, but that seat still went 13 points in his favor. Now, Utah still ended up going 10 points for Lee, but the whole point that I'm trying to make here is that the midterm electorates tend to be a little bit more democratic than the national electorates. And the national electorate for Senate races usually tends to match what ends up happening on the presidential race. Fortis Maximus says, man, Trump is going to obliterate that old farm from New York. He may not win New York, but are you going to be shocked with the amount of Black/Latino support he's going to get in the city? Well, he's doing pretty well according to polling data. He's doing very, very well according to polling data. Biden's only ahead by 27 points in New York City. And I actually did the math. That actually puts Biden down to like a 14-point win in New York. So it shifts the state by like 10 points when Biden is doing like 20 points worse in the city area, or like 30 points worse. So Trump's not going to probably win it, but he's definitely going to do significantly better than he has before there. So I am pretty excited about that. It's going to be really interesting to see that unfold on election night. But as we keep going here, pretty much the Senate races vote in line with the presidential ticket during presidential years. And so because of that, we're going to be filling out the Senate map based out of this map, and we're going to be showing what could potentially happen. And we'll go to polling and we'll kind of adjust it. Now, the reason why I think the polls are going to underestimate Republicans is because I think Trump's going to basically carry a lot of Republicans over on the national level. And so if we go to the first, we'll kind of fill out the map. So pretty much, I think for the safe Republican states, I think these are pretty much not even controversial. West Virginia, back then last year, was considered a kind of a toss-up Senate race, especially since Biden was polling better nationwide, and Manchin was supposed to be running, and Justice was not even considered in the running yet. So it looked really good that Manchin might have only lost by like a couple points. However, since Justice joined the race, we basically said that Manchin was pretty much DOA. And now that he's not running, whoever the Democrat is more than likely not going to win. And Trump is going to win the state by 40 plus points. So that's definitely going to end up really giving whoever the Republican is a boost. And that already puts Republicans winning the Senate because they're going to win Texas and Florida. I mean, if we look at Texas, the polling has it, you know, Cruz is still doing relatively well. I mean, Alfred did okay in the primary. Back then here in February of 2024, for some reason, there was a tied poll, but they both were at 41%. But if you look at this, Cruz was beating him by 14 points in this poll. This was a tied poll. Cruz up by 10 here, 9 here. Back in January, you had some leaning polls here, then Cruz up by 16. So really, if you were to average out all of the polling, he's more than likely winning all of the polling. He's probably up in the state by like 10 points on average, maybe like 9. So in reality, I'm going to expect Cruz probably ends up winning fairly easily here, especially if Trump is winning Texas by 16 or 17 points. He's going to be very easily winning that for sure. Like, I would say that if Democrats started, spending money there, then it would be a really big problem for them. I think it would be a big issue because they would basically end up collapsing on themselves. I think they would end up doing terrible. They would do bad. It would be really, really, really bad for them if they were to do that. We just passed 100 concurrent viewers. So if you guys are new and you guys haven't subscribed, make sure to do that. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to go ahead and hit the post notification bell, and make sure to follow Twitter and join the Discord so you guys can talk to our people in the community and other things. And so for the safe Democratic states, guys, I know Garvey is outperforming significantly in the jungle primary, but I just can't see him losing. Like, I can't see him losing. Maybe if the national environment is super Republican, maybe he gets it within single digits. But as of right now, I think it's still going to be a safe state. And I also believe that most Democrats are going to outperform Biden nationwide. Like, I think the Senate popular vote is going to be roughly tied, whereas Trump will probably be winning by a couple points. So I think split ticketing is going to happen, but I just don't think, you know, it's going to happen to the extent that some people are thinking, where these candidates are DOA. Now, actually, Montana, I did fill it out as safe. However, it was very, I kind of put it as safe instinctively, but it's not necessarily safe. I'd say right now he is basically guaranteed to win, just because Trump is going to be winning the state by so much that I can't see the split ticketing happening. Even if Tester outperforms Biden by 10 points, I expect Donald Trump. The model currently has Donald Trump to win Montana by, let's look at the margin. He's ahead in Montana by 26 points. Even if Tester outperforms Trump by 16 points nationwide, or outperforms Biden, he would still be down by 10. I can't see Tester outperforming Biden by 20 plus points nationwide, especially with the polarization from today. So I'd say no matter what, Montana at least goes likely Republican, and that being at least like a 10-point victory as of right now. I can't see Tester holding on. And also, as well, it's been a while since Tester has been in a presidential race. I mean, he hasn't been in one in a really, really long time. The last time he was here was in 2012, and that's when Obama won the electorate by 4, and polarization was less of an effect. You see, Donald Lee was able to win a race here by 6. Even a Democrat was able to win a Senate race here back then. So polarization was a lot was a lot less compared to it is now. So it's a little bit more excusable. But even when Obama won the popular vote by 4 points against Romney, he still barely won by only single digits. So that's the big problem. That's the really big issue. Even in 2006, when Democrats did really well nationwide in the midterms, you could see that Tester won by a tilt margin. And so it is not looking good whatsoever for Tester in Montana. Even though the polling has him up by 10 points, you got to understand all the voters that are going to vote for Trump and that are going to turn on election day and vote red down ballot they're not getting polled, because a lot of those people are just regular people who are out and about doing their own things, that are going to say, oh, okay, Trump, I'm picking Trump, okay, boom, down ballot, boom. They're going to just check Republican all over. And there's a significant amount of people. And the same thing goes for the Democratic side. The same thing. That's why Maryland, I'm not having it flip. Even though the polling looks really good for Larry Hogan, I'm still not going to have it flip, because there's going to be a bunch of people that just go vote for Biden. They're going to just vote down ballot blue. That's just how it is, guys. That's just how it is. So I can't see Maryland flipping either. However, I am going to get to that. I am going to get to that state, because it may not be safe Democrat, but I think it is still going to go Democratic. However, as we keep going, Washington, I see it being a safe margin for the Democrat. I think that's going to be, maybe it goes below 15, but for the sake of video, I'm going to put it safe. Hawaii is interesting because it is actually a likely margin of victory on the model. And if you look at the last race here from this map, it was this candidate here was, won by a massive amount, and they clearly outperformed. And you see the incumbent supposedly is still going to be running as of right now, I believe. Yeah, see, look, the incumbent is still running. So more than likely that is going to be a safe Democratic seat. However, I could see it being a lot closer if Trump's kind of making gains. But again, I see this Democrat probably winning by 25 to 35 points. Even on a good day for Trump, I still think they'd win pretty well there. And as we keep going, Vermont, Massachusetts, Delaware, I'd see these being, pretty much safe. Like a lot of these are going to be safe. Maybe if Trump does good enough, maybe like Rhode Island, Connecticut Senate races, maybe a little bit down. New Jersey is interesting because there has been a little bit of a shakeup there. The incumbent is not running there anymore. And that's the problem for them there, because right now the incumbent is not running, and the incumbent is only polling like a couple of points above Biden, not by even that much. And you see Mendes is here being included in third party polls, and his margin actually goes down, and the Republicans kind of performing right in line in the 40s. And so that is not good. That's really not good, like at all. And you could even see Mendes was supposed to lose his primary by quite a bit. That's why he was doing that. And even here, what's actually funny is that Chris Christie, out of all people, was actually leading Menendez by 3 points, and Kim was ahead by 26. So you see the race completely flips when you put Kim as the nominee. It's a completely different race. And so, you know, I'd say that maybe, like, it is a likely state. I'd say it is likely. I don't think it's going to be lean unless Trump ends up winning the state, which I think is unlikely this time. But I'd say that probably, yeah, it does fall under 10, 15 points. And I'd say it'd even be close to lean. I'd say it's like a 6 or 7 point win for the Democratic, especially if the incumbent's not running. That's going to be a really bad sign. Now, Maryland, I am actually putting it as likely. Now, the main reason for that is because the latest poll out of the state, literally on the presidential level, is like plus 15 for Biden with third party votes. And if you look at the model, the state is currently at a, let's see the exact margin, at a 22-point win for Biden. And so if Hogan is polling this well in Maryland, he's polling 18 points ahead of his competitors. He's polling massively ahead. Again, I don't think he's going to win it, because I simply think a lot of people who are going to come out to vote for Biden are just going to vote for the Democrat, and that's going to screw over his chances in the state. Now, if Maryland was like a competitive state, we could be talking about Hogan winning this by a safe margin. However, I think since it is such a democratic state, I just can't see him winning right now, and I think he would probably end up losing it by a few points. However, I'd suspect that this could even potentially be closer to New Jersey. That I'll put out there. I'll say that will definitely be that this one might be close to New Jersey. So that might be a good sign. That might be a good sign there. Now, as we come to the other races, Florida likely margin. Rick Scott is not the most popular incumbent. He's won re-election very narrowly multiple times. However, this is the catch. The catch is if you're really looking at this, the state has gotten a lot redder the past couple years, and so I can't see Rick Scott having a really close race there just due to the state trending to the right by so much. However, I do think it is going to be closer. I think Rick Scott will underperform Trump. I think he will do a little bit worse than Trump. However, I think he'll still do pretty well. I'd say he probably wins the state by like 5 to 10 points. That's the range I'm giving him. Bernie Moreno, it's a likely margin. There's people out here that are saying that, oh, Bernie Moreno's gonna lose because he's the MAGA candidate, and oh my God, it's Trump's candidate, so he's gonna lose. Like, let's talk elections out here is talking about that. I don't know why. I don't know why he's being disingenuous. I mean, just because he's working for Biden doesn't mean he's got to be disingenuous about this. He really does not have to be. He can at least be a little honest and say that if Trump is going to be winning the state, even if Trump wins it by the same amount he wins it by in 2020, let's say Trump wins Ohio by 8, right? Let's say that's the case. And let's look at previous results, right? Let's say he does, end up winning it by 8. Horman won by 20. Now, again, he's a rhino. He is a little bit of a kind of switch and bait Republican, but the Republican here ended up outperforming Trump by quite a bit. Like, it's not like, even in 2012, Brown won by 6. Obama ended up winning by a little bit less than that. So usually the Senate candidates tend to kind of perform somewhere in the range of the presidential nominee. Now, Portman was an exception to the rule, but I'd say that more than likely, I think that Bernie Moreno is almost slated to win almost no matter what. Now, can he lose it? Theoretically, if Trump were to only win the state by like 8 points, there'd be a chance that he could lose it. But if Trump is going to be winning the state by over 10 points, I can't see him losing it. And right now, the model has it as basically a 19-point win. So if that is for the sake of the live stream, if that's going to be the case, Ohio can't be a lean margin of victory for Bernie Moreno. It's easily going to go to Moreno by a couple of points. He'll probably end up winning it by 8 or 9, 10 points in this scenario. And so we're approaching the last couple of states here. If we look at this, New York right now, I'd say is likely. The Senate races in 2022, when you didn't even have the presidential candidate, Schumer is one of the most high profile candidates as a Democrat, and he only won his race by 14 in a midterm, which tends to lean more Democratic. So you're telling me that Pennsylvania voted to the left of what it did in 2020, but New York ended up moving to the left significantly? Like, that's a very, very bad look for Schumer. And as well, even just really the Democratic Party here as a whole. This guy, Joe Pinion, is a nobody. No one knew who that was except for people in New York, and he managed to end up doing very well against Schumer. I mean, this is still pretty impressive. And now again, you could argue, okay, coattails with Lee Zeldin may have helped him, but he still got it under 15. And so if Trump is going to lose the state by under 15, I'm almost spot on. I'm almost certain that the Senate race will be under 15. Now, whether the Democrat or the Republican ends up outperforming Trump or not, the question is to be unknown. But I'd say that they're looking pretty solid in New York. Whoever the Republican nominee is, it's going to be looking very, very good for them as of right now. Virginia is interesting, right? Because according to the model, he wins it by a tilt margin. Trump is winning it by a tilt margin. Hung Kao is the nominee, is more than likely, going to be the nominee for the Republicans and will run against Tim Kaine, which is Hillary Clinton's former running mate from 2016. Now, the thing about this is that if Trump is winning the state theoretically, for the sake of the video, if he's winning it by a tilt margin, it's basically tied. And I've been having Hung Kao outperform Trump on the Senate level during my past predictions. That means that Virginia would have to actually be a flip. It would have to flip in this scenario. It would have to. Just because every single time I've done a prediction, I've always had Hung Kao outperforming Donald Trump nationwide in the Senate race. And so, because of the sake of the video, I am going to have it as lean R as of right now. If we look at New Mexico, which there actually seems to be something brewing there, if we look at polling data, we'll look at this, but it seems like there's actually no new polling data for New Mexico, so that's kind of interesting actually. But based out of Trump winning the state by a couple points here and something kind of brewing there, and I actually put it as lean Democrat. I think the Democrat will outperform Biden, but I think it could get close. Now, Angus King, I think easily wins Maine. Even if Trump is winning Maine by like a decent amount, I think they win Maine by a decent amount too. Because if you look at this, the state is still lean Democrat nationwide. And so I'd expect Angus to probably win by over 10 points. Like I'm not a Republican should not put any resources into that state whatsoever. Oh, Buckeye Politics is here. What's up, man? How you doing? Trump 2024. That's what's up, man. I can't Oh, that's cool that Buckeye's here. That's pretty nice. I used to watch his stuff before I started. I used to watch a bunch of different people, but I used to watch Buckeye's stuff sometimes too, so that's pretty cool. Um so we're approaching the last couple of states here. Arizona, did you see how far in front Hogan is in Maryland? It's plus 15 plus or minus. Hey, James, hey, on point policy, I used an election model that had Colorado shift 4 points Dem and Virginia shift 3 points Dem while having Iowa shift 19 points GOP while 15. What are the implications for 2024? I mean, if that's the case, if your model did show that, then I guess you might be doing it individual county, which I do have. I actually do have models where I do states by individual county, and then the popular vote kind of decides um what it is. Um, Buckeye Politics. I saw this in my recommended. Congratulations on that, K. Thank you, Buckeye. I appreciate it. Everybody in here, if you guys don't know who Buckeye is, he does political content like me as well. I mean, he's been around for longer than me. So if you guys want to subscribe to him really quick, you can. That would be pretty nice because he works hard on his stuff too. So if you guys would go ahead and subscribe to him, that would be pretty awesome as well. Give me guys 1 second here, just really quick. Gonna be looking at something here. All right, guys. So back to the video. So pretty much Arizona. Here's the thing about this. If Trump is really winning the state by 10 points, like my model suggests, right? If he's winning it by 10, here's the thing. Gallego's cooked. He'd be cooked. He would he would be fried. Gallego would be cooked. I'd say Kerry Lake probably wins by 3 to 5 points in this scenario. More than likely. Who do you see as the Democrat and Republican nominee in 2028? I'll be getting to that in a second. I'll get there. I'll get there in a second. If Trump is winning the state by 10, Kerry Lake wins by 3 to 5. It's just it's out of the picture. It's just Trump is winning by too much. There's no way Trump's gonna win Arizona by 10, but the Kerry Lake loses by 5. That's not gonna happen. Arizona's known to split ticket a lot, but not to that extent. Could Trump have coattails on those competitive House races in Ohio in 2024? 100%. He's going to be having coattails nationwide everywhere. Everywhere he's going to be having that. So that's definitely going to be a big thing. David Ho says President Yeezy. Guys, if you guys are new here, please subscribe. I'm sure you already have. I could see the subscriber count has gone up a decent amount as we've started. It's already gone up 40 subs in this video, so that's awesome. And so, if you guys are new, please subscribe, like the video. We are at 133 concurrent viewers. So if you guys are new here and you guys haven't interacted with the channel at all, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure to like the video as well so we can get this up on the algorithm. We're almost at 1K views for the stream, and I am going to be going for a little bit here. So all right, so pretty much what we're going to be doing in Nevada, right? So if you go to Nevada, here's the thing, guys. Nevada, the polling here looks pretty good for Rosen when you have other candidates, but when you put Brown up, it's significantly closer, which means Brown's probably going to outperform. And if Trump is going to be on the state ballot, then coattails are going to be a big deal. So if Trump is winning the state by according to Casually Unfiltered Forever says, "Hey, at Unpoint Politics, I am new here." Well, thank you very much for the subscription. I really appreciate it. So please make sure to hit the post notification bell. I say it in all my videos to make sure people do try to tune in as much as possible to the channel. I do upload every day, so you'll see it on your recommended. When call and stream, I will probably be doing it in the next couple of maybe 20 minutes or so. I'll probably start going into the voice chat and start pulling in people. I am gonna have to hide my screen when I join the VC, but probably in 20 minutes. So everybody who wants to be in the call-in portion of the stream, make sure to go ahead and join the Discord and go into the voice chat already. There's a chat where it says wait for live stream, like it's something to do like waiting room live stream, something like that, and you'll be able to wait in there as well. So that's also something you guys can also do too. So the next thing, so if you look at Nevada right now, it is considered to be a 10-point victory for Trump according to the model with this popular vote range here. And so if that's the case, Sam Brown will more than likely win that Senate race by a likely margin, in my opinion. We're coming up here. Amy Klobuchar wins Minnesota by a likely margin. She is an electoral juggernaut. And even if Trump is winning the state by multiple points, I'd expect her to outperform Biden by quite a bit. I'd actually expect to I'd expect her to outperform Biden by quite a bit statewide. And so I think she would win. Maybe it's below 5. Maybe it would be a 4 3-point win for her, but definitely she's still going to win. Trump would have to win Minnesota by 5 for the Republican to even have a shot there in the Senate race. In my opinion, we're coming down to the last couple of states here. Wisconsin. Wisconsin in the model is characterized as a 9.9 percentage point victory for Trump, and Eric Hovde has seemed to be a pretty solid pick for Republicans. It's been a pretty solid pick overall. He's been really going on the issues. He's been going as hard as he can, and so I think he would win by like 2 to 3 points, possibly, maybe 3 to 4. I'd say that it is possible he ends up winning by a couple of points if Trump's winning the state by almost 10. Michigan, I'd say, is lean R because the model currently has Trump winning by a likely margin, and he is up by 8.5 percentage points in the state. And so I think that would be the case. And same thing for Pennsylvania. However, Pennsylvania, I think, would be considerably close. I think Pennsylvania would be like a point or two victory for McCormick if Trump is actually winning the state by 10 points like the model suggests, which it is right over here, 9.4%. I'd actually even say that Bob Casey even still has a chance at winning the seat, even if Trump wins Pennsylvania by 9, which sounds crazy, but McCormick is not the best pick for that seat. I'm actually going to classify it as still Republican as of right now. Maybe it's like a point victory for him, but I'd actually say it may even be tilt. So if the current model, if this current projection stands, then as of right now, Trump would be winning by about, the Senate would be a 58 to 42 Republican, seat. Now, if you have my current projection up, which this is my current map for the presidential election, if we pull this up really quick, this is my current map for the presidential election as of right now, where Trump gets 318. Or Goldstein says, new subscriber, would love to hear analysis from your analysis of the crosstabs. Well, I'll probably get to that in a second. Can you reference like a specific poll that you want me to look at the crosstabs for? That would be a little bit helpful if you have a specific poll in mind that you want me to look at. So that would also be helpful as well. So what I'm going to be looking at here is this is the map that I currently have. So if that's the logic, then more than likely Virginia would go blue. Pennsylvania probably goes Democrat on the Senate level more than likely. New Mexico, Minnesota would all go. And so more than likely, if my current map projection stands, then the Republicans do probably actually win 56 seats to 44 seats in the Senate. So it would be a pretty massive victory as of right now. We are currently at 8,026 subscribers. So the subscriber count ever since I started the stream has basically been going up nonstop. So I'm very, very grateful for that. I am very appreciative of it. You guys have been really, really helping me and supporting the channel. It's been great so far, and I can't wait to keep going for you guys here. And even after 2024, even after the election, I'm still going to be posting content. I'll probably be talking about the presidency itself, be talking about, the Senate and the House and things like that. Like, I'll still be active. I will be posting almost every single day, no matter what. So the more I grow my audience, the more people will be tuned in to politics every single day. And that's what I want for everybody. Because I want people to at least, even if you're not like super engaged, you guys at least have an idea of what's going on. And I try to provide my best analysis possible. And that's why I've been trying to start collabing with certain channels, because I want to try to be as accurate as possible that I can be. And so the Senate, I actually think this is even my last video. My last Senate projection was probably this. It probably was 56 to 44. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I had Michigan going blue, maybe. But I probably had it at this, or I had it at this. It's pretty similar. Can Trump win New York? Okay, well, that's the problem. That's the thing about this. It's very, very interesting because on point politics, how do you think about Marjorie Taylor Greene running in 2028? Like for president? Oh hell no. No. Please no. Well, no, that would not be good. Um and so right now, guys, if we go over here, let's go to this. Let's see if I can find there's something really interesting that actually came up on CNN today. So I do actually want to look this up. It was something that came up on Red Eagles, his thing actually. So if I do actually look that up really quick, we can see here that as of right now, people look at this. People who voted in 2020 and 2022 are supporting Biden by more than what they did in 2020. But if you look at the voters who haven't voted in either, they're voting for Trump by a landslide margin. So the whole kind of dynamic that, oh, Trump can't win by over 312 electoral votes is really not off the table. He definitely can, especially if a lot of new voters are voting or supporting him by this amount. He will 100%, he can 100% do it. This proves that 2022 wasn't Trump's fault. His base didn't show up, and no, registered R turnout being high does not mean much. His base, including many, are leaning indies, which is true. A lot of his base is not even like registered Republicans. It's a lot of independents that lean Republican. And so, really, what Red Eagle said here, which is the RNC needs to create their ballot chasing operation, that is the best possible solution to get all these people to turn out. That is the best solution. Prediction on Trump's criminal case in New York? Well, right now it seems like there is a juror that is in fact that only gets his news from True Social. I don't know if you guys seen that chart where they basically went over all of the, if you had to pick one state on election night that puts Trump over the top, I'd say Pennsylvania is actually, yeah. Oh, look, okay, good. That um actually, yeah, that would probably make sense. I think it would be Pennsylvania because, guys, on election night, if Trump is winning, right? Let's say hypothetically, this is what the map looks like on election night as we're approaching Trump winning the election, right? Let's say it looks something like this, right? Let's say it's looking like this, like Virginia's really close, New Jersey's pretty close. Like, let's say it's looking like this, right? At this point, it would be obvious Trump is winning. And so, hypothetically, this is kind of what they did in 2016. A lot of people called Wisconsin and called Pennsylvania right after, or they called Pennsylvania and then called Wisconsin immediately after. And so, really, if I were to be projecting the race, I would just call Pennsylvania for him. I would literally just call it, because if Trump is really winning by 345 electoral votes, or even is in a tied popular vote, is winning Pennsylvania by like a couple points, he's still he would probably be able to get Pennsylvania called pretty early. So that's going to be a good sign for him. He may be able to get that called pretty early. So that would be something pretty interesting to look at there. But in terms of Trump's chances in New York, here's the problem with that state. The city area really controls what happens there. It is really, really, really bad. And I'm going to go over this. I technically went over this in another video, actually. I might have even done this on the last live, actually, but I'll do it again here since there's more people. We're going to be looking at this New York City poll, Trump v. Biden. I'm going to be looking this up because there was a new poll out of New York City, which the news cycles have not actually even covered, where if you were to look at this, Biden is leading in with likely voters in New York City by 27 points. He won New York City by like 53 points in 2020. So his margin gets cut down in half, basically. And if we were to go to the election shuffler and play around with this, like, and literally do the individual counties, if we were to do this, it would be a really, really, really bad day for Biden because the state would get a significantly closer. If we were to go, let's look at these counties here because this is basically what they pulled. If we were to go to the Bronx, right, which I believe is the first one, Biden's ahead by 27 points there. His margin in 2020 was 67 points. So if that were to get cut down all the way to a 27-point win for Biden, that already cuts down his lead in the state by 2 points. If we were to go to, for example, let's go back here. I don't know why it kicked me out of here. If we were to go back here and we were to go to New York, which is technical, well, let's do Brooklyn first, which I believe would be in Kings. It'd be here. So let's look at that. So Brooklyn would be about here. It's a 39-point win currently. It was a 55-point win. So if you were to shift this to a 39-point victory, that puts Biden even more below from his margin. If we were to go here to Manhattan, which would be New York over here, it's a 75-point win for him here. He's only winning it by 51 this time. So that shifts the state by quite a bit. That gives Trump some leeway. So that brings Biden's margin down to 17 points, by the way. That puts him down 17 points in the state. Oh man, this is I hate that everything is so sensitive. So we're to look at this again, right? We're to go to the next one, Queens. Over here. It's only an 11-point win for Biden. 11 points. He won it by 45. He won it by 45 in 2020. That would give Trump literally over 100,000 extra votes in the whole state. So that already puts Biden's margin down already to like a 14.7 victory for him in the state. If we were to go to Staten Island, which I believe is over here, Richmond, it was a 15-point win for Trump. He's leading by 36 points. That gives Trump an extra like 20,000 votes in the state. That puts Biden's margin down to 14%. And if you look at these two counties, which have been shifting kind of to the right for the most part, if you were to shift these counties by about 10 points, respectively, if you were to shift these 10 points in Trump's favor, which that's usually how they've been shifting, if you were to do that, I gotta reset the county because it didn't really move. See, this one's acting weird. Oh, see, that's kind of annoying. You see, now it went back up. Yeah, this election shuffler sometimes is kind of weird. Um, but overall, you saw that it kind of messed up for me right now, but you could see it shifted quite significantly. It really did. And that's a poll. That poll literally puts the state down to like an 11-point victory for Biden, which is what polling is showing. And the thing about the polling in 2020 in New York was that if you go to the polling here, let's find the polling. Election New York polling. If you were to go to the general election polls here, Biden was ahead by 29.4% in the state. He only ended up winning it by, let's go look for the presidential map, 23.1. So it's a 6-point miss. So and that poll is not even accounting for the rest of the state shifting to the right, by the way. It's not even accounting for the rest of the state. That's only moving the city area, and it already cuts Biden's lead down by a lot. And so if you look at some of these plus 10, plus 9 polls, you'd be looking at some of them, the polling error could be as high as 6 points, like it was in 2020 in the average. And so if that were to be the case, Biden could potentially be within single digits of losing the state. Now, that's an extreme scenario, but Biden being down by 5 is not that unrealistic. It sounds crazy, but it's really not. Look at this. This poll in October was off by 10 points. It was off by 10. The Lincoln Project is the cringiest organization I've ever seen. I see this in 2028. Gavin Newsom versus Glenn Youngkin or Ron DeSantis. I mean, we'll see. Pro American says hello. Again, guys, I don't think New York is going to flip. I personally don't think it is. I really don't believe it's going to flip. However, the chance of it being within a couple of points is really not that far off. It's not that unrealistic for it to be within a couple points. It could easily vote within a couple of points of Trump. it could potentially be a very, very competitive state. Oh, I absolutely hate the Lincoln Project. Yeah, I don't like them either. I don't. The guy who runs it is pure cringe. I saw his interview on Patrick David's show. It was terrible. It was super bad. Super, super, super bad. Very, very bad. All right, guys. I am gonna be starting the call-in part of the show. So you guys want to be joining the if you guys want to go ahead and join the call-in weight room voice chat, you can. There's literally no one in here right now. I was actually about to start calling, but if you go ahead, if you guys want to go ahead and start joining the voice chat, you can. So I do have to hide my screen really quick. So in order to join the Discord, so I will be right back. Hmm. Oh, my mic was off. All right, thanks for yeah. I just turned it back on. That was weird. I don't know why it turned off. That was weird, but I'm here. So it should be on now, guys. I don't know why it turned off. It should be on now. It should be on. I know you guys are like I know the stream is like it's like slightly behind. I know. I know it's a little bit behind, but it should be on now. And I think American Spiritual is about to join any second now. So I'll be waiting for him as of right now. Oh man, guys, had a long, long day. Yep, yeah, it should be working now. But yeah, it's been a long day. Been a long, long day for me. So, whew. All right, guys. So, guys, whoever just joined, go ahead and join the call-in weight room. If you guys want to be a part of the call-in, you guys can do that. So, I'm actually even gonna add everybody in the Discord. Sound is very low. Hmm. Let me go ahead and Let me go ahead and fix that. Oh, there we go. My voice should be a lot louder now. So you guys should be able to hear me now. It should be good now. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and play around with the model for now, just so we could kind of look at this and you guys can kind of look at the fundamentals of this and see how it is. So basically, you play around with the popular vote and it kind of changes the results accordingly, and the demographics also change. So that's also pretty cool too. And I got it working for both, so that's nice. And then it factors in Biden's approval rating, the swing state polling averages as well. So that's also going to take into account. I'm probably going to start using third party included averages as well. Like I may do my own averages and use the ones with the third party candidates to kind of reflect them being in the race. So that's also going to be something too. So And so, if we're looking at Biden winning the popular vote roughly by the same amount that he did last time, he actually still ends up underperforming in a bunch of places. He actually still ends up doing slightly worse. He does slightly worse in Alabama. Arizona, he does actually improve narrowly in Arizona, but not even that much. He's actually James XYZ. It is going to be Colin, so you have to do it through Discord. You're going to have to join the Discord in order to participate in the call-in. So go ahead and do that. Are there any states that have changed their mail-in slash emergency coding voting procedures back to normal that may have an impact on this election? Says Jason Guess. The thing is that I'm not 100% certain if they're changed or not, but I'm assuming this year a lot less people are going to be voting. So mail-in voting will probably be scaled down pretty significantly um compared to 2020. So if Biden is winning the popular vote roughly by the same amount that he did last time, he still does worse in Minnesota. He actually still does worse. He does like a point worse in Illinois. He does slightly worse in New York. So even New York is going to get some shifts too. These states would still be safe. New Jersey is not going to be safe though. It would fall under the likely category. I'm almost 100% sure it does. Yeah, it's right below the safe margin. New York is a 21-point win for Biden. New Mexico is a 10-point win. So there's some slight improvements slash de improvements. I think there's a couple places where like Arizona, for example, he improves. I think let's find another. There's like two or three more states where he actually does make gains, which is pretty interesting. Maine second, I think roughly votes around the same where it did in 2020. I think Trump actually improves in the district by like a tiny bit actually. He does like 3 points better in Maine. He does a little bit better there, like just a tad bit better. However, Biden seems to be winning the at-large vote by like 15 points, which is weird. I don't know why it's such a big margin. So I'm gonna be putting it in the likely category because that seems like a pretty large victory. There may be something wrong there. Ohio and Iowa would be classified more than likely as likely margin. So if you go to Iowa, it's a 10-point win. Same thing for Ohio. Iowa slightly to the right of Ohio. South Carolina would broadly be considered a likely state. It is a 12-point margin. So Trump actually makes gains there still. If we look at Florida, funny enough, it's actually a 4.9 percentage point victory. So it's almost a 5-point win. And if we look at Texas, Trump actually does slightly worse there. He does like half a point worse if Biden were to win the popular vote by 4.5 points again, which honestly, that would make sense. If the Democrat is winning the popular vote by that much, I could see it doing a little bit worse. And then you kind of have these margins here. North Carolina, I think Trump ends up doing, let's look at North Carolina. If I can find it. My eyes are not really working right now. He wins it by 1.7, so Trump would make gains there. Georgia votes to the left of Arizona on the map for some reason. It's probably because the trend is like so high. That may be a reason why that's the case. Michigan actually gets closer though, which is interesting. Wisconsin is a half-point victory for Trump. So Trump actually still ends up winning Wisconsin in the scenario. And Pennsylvania is a zero point 0.4 victory for Biden. And Nevada, I believe, is still a lean state. It would still be lean. It would be like a point victory. Hawaii would be safe. Alaska would be likely. Donald Trump would do slightly worse in Alaska. And so if Trump were to win the popular vote, or Biden would be winning the popular vote roughly by that same amount like last time, you would probably end up seeing an electoral map something like this, which Trump would still be able to win because if you were to get Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, he ends up getting 275. And I think Georgia either way is going to vote to the right as well of like these states. So I think the model may be off when it comes to Georgia. So we'll see about that in the next coming months. However, I think it is slightly off there. It may be because I'm not using the five-way race margin. That may be a big reason why. Like if we actually look up, let's actually look up the polling average in Georgia and see what it is at a in a five-way race. It's a 6-point win for Trump in the polling aggregate. So if we were to go here and replace that, it might actually help him a little bit. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does help. It does help him a little bit. It does. It helps him by like a decent amount actually. So his margin ends up getting significantly closer to Arizona. So that is actually pretty interesting too. I think Trump at least gets 300 and I can't see it. 330 electoral votes. I don't know about that, but we'll definitely see. American spiritual politics, I'm putting you in. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Sorry about that.
No, 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 you're good.
I, I've been smelling brownies downstairs, and I was wondering what they would be all about. Not trying to make anybody hungry, but I had to bring it up anyway.
So you went to go get them?
No, I already had them. There's more there. There's still leftovers. But anyways,
Oh.
what political questions do you have for me tonight?
The first thing is that I'm actually gonna ask you, what are your main issues for 2024? Like if you had to go vote, what would be your main things that you're thinking about in terms of, what would be the reason why you vote for somebody this cycle? That's the first question I'm gonna ask you.
Abortion. Nah, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't base my the foreign policy and the economy are my two biggest issues.
Which ones are they? I'm sorry.
Foreign policy and the economy.
Foreign policy and the economy. Can you elaborate as to why so? Do the economy first and then
I'd
foreign
be
policy.
voting for I if I were voting, I'd be voting for Trump because he knows how to handle conflicts and to stop the wars. Because if you look at it, when Obama was president, Putin invaded one country. I forget the name of it. During Trump's presidency, Putin did not invade anything. But now, under Biden, Putin has invaded Ukraine, as we all know.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Iran through Hamas proxies in Israel, which is another big thing. I've spoken to some people about that, and they said, "How is Iran involved with this war in
Mm-hmm.
Israel?" And they just don't get it. As people, I don't know if everyone knows this, but I'm from a relatively blue state, but I'm from a relatively blue state, and the biggest issue here, surprisingly, is abortion, which is pretty ridiculous.
What is the state, if you don't mind saying? If you don't want to, that's fine, but
I'm not saying it as of now to keep my identity private, but you may already know what state I'm talking about.
okay. Well, and then okay, so basically you think Trump would be able to kind of overcome the issues when it comes to like foreign policy and
Absolutely.
economy. I
Absolutely.
think I do agree for the most part. I think with the economy, I think a lot of people are being just disingenuous when it comes to people saying that the economy is quote unquote improving. And that is mainly because they're saying, well, jobs are being created and oh, this and that. But the problem is that a lot of
Bacon
jobs.
per pound here. Bacon per pound here is like $15 where I
Oh,
am.
what, a bacon per pound is $15?
Yeah, for 1 pound of bacon, it's $15 here.
Jesus, that's really expensive. Wow. Whoa, that is really bad actually. Whoa, that's super bad.
15,
Wow.
not 50.
Yeah.
15, not
Yeah,
50.
yeah, no, but no, that's still really bad. 15 is still terrible. I heard you right the first time. That's terrible. That's really bad. Wow, that's embarrassing. That's
And yet our state's probably going to vote for the crooked economical policies because people here aren't that smart. Let's just say that.
Hmm.
Mm.
I mean, that's honestly really bad. Bro's keeping his identity secret. Wait, bro's keeping. Oh, is somebody talking crap? Okay. So, what do you think in terms of like, what do you think is gonna happen for the election? Like, what do you say the chances of Trump winning the election is right now? Currently, the betting markets actually have Biden winning, which is kind of funny. When you actually look at it.
I don't really care about the betting odds because I think early on in 2021 they had Terry McAuliffe beating Glenn Youngkin, and Glenn Youngkin ended up performing and overperforming and ended up winning, and all the cope came out about it.
Well, right now,
Everybody
if
knows.
you actually look at the betting odds right now, it currently has Biden at 276 to 262. So Trump would flip Arizona and Georgia from the last election, which is pretty interesting. I'm actually surprised that, but because I would assume that like Biden would be leading the average just because Biden always tends to lead the betting markets. He always does. Even Clinton back in 2016 was up in the betting markets by like a lot, and so was Biden. I think Ohio was like a couple was like I think people were like Biden had a higher share in Ohio than Trump did, I believe, on election day in Ohio.
So
So,
speaking of all of this, one absolute thing I want to get to
mhm.
is seemingly all about the issue of the polling for the Senate, because in all honesty, everybody's coping saying that Bernie Moreno is going to lose. I know it's pronounced Bernie Moreno, but I pronounce Bernie Moreno for whatever reason. But I get that people are out there saying that he's going to lose. Same goes for Tim Sheehy in Montana. But in reality, because the polls aren't showing it, where the betting market may have the Democrats winning, in reality, polling in Ohio was downright awful, and it had Tim Ryan leading Vance by a couple of points until election day, and Vance ended up winning by 7.
Right, that's the thing. There always tends to be a lot of underestimation, and I think this year there's going to be a lot more of an underestimation with these kind of voters because the thing is that it's going to be bad because there's a lot of people that vote for Trump who don't vote in midterms, and so the electorate's going to be massively different. So there may be candidates that you might not think are as good as Trump that may actually vote pretty in line with Trump just because his coattails are going to be so strong on down ballot races. That's really going to be really is going to be important to look at overall. And so that
Did
is
you see?
what.
Sorry if I just interrupted you, but did you see what Tony Gonzalez said on CNN earlier
No.
today? That was a
What
disgrace.
did he say on CNN? I actually have not seen that.
He
I
called people like Matt Gaetz and Bob Good neo Nazis.
Are you serious?
I am serious. I'm legit serious.
Oh man, what an ass. I don't even watch Brandon Herrera like that, but I could tell that Brandon Herrera is gonna be significantly better than Tony Gonzalez, and I really hope that he's gonna.
I think he's probably going to pull it off at the end of the day, considering he's going, well, first of all, I
Mhm.
explained this in my video about his runoff and the Texas runoffs. I I said that 54% voted against Gonzalez and voted for the other candidates. And the other candidates that were eliminated, they're lining up and they're endorsing Herrera.
Oh, oh wow. Okay, so that is gonna help him actually. That is gonna help him quite a bit. So that may be a good sign for him. But as of right now, I mean, it is kind of funny that the betting odds are so polarized. Like, because before, like Ohio was a lot closer in 2020. Biden was leading in Florida in the and the betting odds. I think even Texas was kind of competitive. But I guess now that it's Trump and Biden again, I think that's why the betting odds are so like they're so set on for either candidate on like the reliably Democratic states. Even New Hampshire is like 86 to 14. That's a very big lead. Even Maine is a really big lead. Even Minnesota is a pretty big lead. I'd say that the betting market should be closer there, to be honest. Even in Colorado, I don't think it should be. I don't think Biden would have a 92% chance. I think he'd have like a 60, 70, but not 92. I don't think so. I even think Texas and Florida's betting odd leads are very large. North Carolina right now, honestly, if you were to put in money right now to get up to 100, that's free money. Georgia, hmm, would I tell people to bet on Georgia? I'm not 100% certain, but I myself would probably bet on Georgia.
I'm
I'd
I'm
say
looking at the betting. I'm looking at the betting market. If you simply flip Wisconsin,
he
you
wins.
would
Yeah,
win the
yeah,
presidency.
he
He would
wins.
win.
And the betting odds for Trump back then were significantly worse. They were a lot worse back then,
No,
way worse.
no,
So that
still.
yeah, so that's the thing. They were a lot worse. Biden had much larger leads in the betting odds before in 2020, and now Biden's only ahead by 6 in the betting odds. So that's not looking good for Biden there either. Like at all. That's not a good lead for him. That's very bad actually.
I also want to bring up. Do you think Mark Robinson pulls off the North Carolina gubernatorial election?
That's a good question. You see, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's the problem. I really don't know because I don't know. It's looking pretty bad. Like I don't know. I don't know because
Yeah. Another thing
there's
is,
so much stuff
Stein
coming out.
always.
There's so much stuff coming out for him there. I mean, if Trump really wins the popular vote by 3, I think he's fine, but I think he's gonna underperform Trump by a decent amount. I'm not one of these people that's saying he's guaranteed to lose because he's definitely not. I'd say he definitely has a shot at winning. I'd say he for sure has a chance, but I think it is going to be very iffy. Like if Biden is winning the popular vote by 1, I'd still even be concerned. Like even if Trump is winning the election fairly easily, he's winning all the swing states by like lean margins and even winning North Carolina by like almost 7 points, I would still be worried for Robinson. I'd say if Trump wins the state by like 6 or 7 points, Mark Robinson probably pulls out like a 2 to 3 point win, I'd say. So
Which at the end of
I
the
think
day
Robinson's the favorite, but he's
is
not guaranteed to win, in my opinion, either. I don't think he'd be guaranteed to win. That is my thing. I don't think he'd be guaranteed to win.
I think he is in a pretty good spot because I know that if Trump goes out there, because I don't know if you heard, but he was supposed to be doing a rally in North Carolina, but
Right.
yesterday he had to cancel it because
Yeah.
of some big storms coming
Oh,
in.
right. Okay.
Mark Robinson was expected to be there as well, from what I heard. And
Oh,
next time he does the rally, if Mark Robinson follows Trump to every North Carolina rally he does, and he keeps mentioning him over and over, I think it'll get into people's heads that Trump really wants him to be the next governor.
I mean, that could work, but I'm not sure if he should go to that extent. I mean, it could work, but I don't know. I'm a little skeptical about him doing that.
Who do you think is more likely to win, Kerry Lake or Mark Robinson?
I think Kerry Lake is more favored to win than Mark Robinson. I don't know. It's just that Mark Robinson has had a lot of stuff thrown at him. And yes, I'm not one of these people that's like, "Oh, he said this. Oh my god, it hurts my feelings." He's uneluctable. Like I'm not one of those people, but it's not going to be like honestly, if Trump is winning Arizona, like if Arizona and Trump,
Mm.
like if Trump was winning Arizona and Georgia by the exact same amount, let's say he wins them by 8, I think Kerry Lake performs more in line with Trump than Mark Robinson does. Doesn't mean one of them loses, but I think Kerry Lake, just because of the fact I think she would do better with Trump's coattails than Mark would. Not by a big amount, by but still a decent amount for me.
Yeah.
Like I think Lake would be slightly more
I
favorable.
also know.
That's my opinion.
I also know that Biden Robinson voters exist. There are more. I feel like there'd be more Biden Robinson voters compared to Biden compared to Trump Stein voters because if you're most Republicans that are voting for Trump are probably going to end up voting for Robinson anyway. That's just
Right.
how the way that works. And plus, Dan Forrest was a pretty rubbish
Right.
candidate
But you
anyway.
got to understand, a lot of times with African American voters, they see the presidency as a statesman position. And this is kind of like commentating off of what Stephen A. Smith said. A lot of them view the presidency as a statesman position. And a lot of African American voters who vote for Biden or vote for Democrats are actually still very conservative. Like there's a lot of them. And so there may be, there actually may be a lot of voters that vote for Biden kind of begrudgingly, but vote for Robinson in a heartbeat. Like that could potentially happen. I would 100% think that'd be the case.
I also honestly don't believe. Oh man, imagine looking at the chat. But regardless, I was gonna say that when it comes down to Robinson winning, I believe that he is a little bit. He probably will possibly pull out a win over Josh Stein because he almost lost the 2020 Attorney General's race to a no-namer, aka Jim O'Neill,
Mm-hmm.
and he just proved that in 2016 he kind of underperformed as well compared to expectations. And Roy Cooper was expected to win by a massive margin, and he only won by like 3 or 4.
Right. Well, okay. Well, I am going to go ahead. There's really no one else in the chat except for Owen, but Owen, I'm gonna be completely honest, man. Like, I'm not gonna be like I can't be doing call-ins with 12 and 13-year olds. Like I can't. I'm not doing that. Like the minimum age has to be 15 or 16, and like I'm just not doing it. So I apologize if that offends you. Like I know you've been in the Discord and you've been subscribed, and I'm grateful for that, but I have talked to you in the VC. You like I don't want to be doing I can't be doing voice calls on live air with thousands of people, hundreds of people watching with people that are significantly underage. So that's the only caveat for that. So I'm just gonna make that very clear now that I'm more than likely gonna be ending the stream now because I do have to get going. But thank you guys very much for tuning in and getting us to 8,000. We are currently at 8,036 subscribers.
If
What?
you have not yet subscribed, please smash that subscribe button, hit the bell, hit the like button while you're at it, and if you want to support the channel, hit the join button. It is only, I forget the price. It is $4.99 a month. On Point would probably strongly appreciate your support.
Thank you, American Spiritual. I greatly appreciate that. But I am going to be ending it now, guys. So thank you so much for joining the stream. Thank you for tuning in, subscribing. I know there's a lot of new people in here, so I am grateful for that. We got over 100 likes, so that was very awesome. So thank you very much, guys, and I hope to see you guys very, very soon. I am going to be posting every single day. For those people who are new to the channel, I do post literally every day. So be on the lookout for more content. Oh, Vladikid's Musical says, "Hey man, I started watching you about 2 months ago. Congratulations with AK. Thank you for the 5. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much." Bro donated right at the end of the stream. He got lucky that I saw it because I was really about to hit end stream. But thank you for the 5. I appreciate it. So, all right, guys. I hope everyone has a great day. I'm gonna be going out. So see you guys very, very soon.
What a show.
Mm-hmm.